Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Fishbowl in the 5-minute pool on ICC. Fishbowl is an American IM, and he is not listed. His name is not given. Looks like I'll have a time advantage to start. You get 10 seconds automatically added up to the original 5-minute starting time. It's like a grace period that ICC has implemented. But here, let's play Scandinavian. Here it didn't, he was like delaying his first move for a long time, so that's why it didn't quite work for him. All right, so we've got a main line in the Scandinavian. Bishop d2, I'm expecting. That's what they usually play. And now knight d5. Okay, this line I'm not so scared of if they castle kingside. I'm of the opinion that if white castles kingside in the Scandinavian, they don't really get any advantage. It's kind of a blanket generalization, but I think it holds true for a lot of variations. Okay, here, I wonder if I can take. Yeah, I'll take. He has to take with the pawn, and now knight g4 is a tempting move. So there's a lot of tricks based on e5 being weak and also f2 being weak. So like if he plays bishop f4, I can play bishop c5 is a good move. And he has to be really careful now. I think bishop g3 is what he wants to do, but okay, he did that. So I can play rook d8, win a tempo on his queen. What other moves come to mind? No, I think rook d8's good. Let's do that. Oh, and if he moves the queen, I might have rook d4. That's a nice trick in this line. Yeah, rook d4, and I think I just win material. It's a very unusual fork. Could he do something like h3? h3 might minimize his losses. Okay, if he does this, I can take here. This just wins material. He takes, I take on f2 next move. That's over.
Check.
Yeah, this is going to be finito. Queen b6. Does that work? Queen b6, he can't play rook d1. If he goes bishop e3, I can go knight g4. So queen b6 might be the way to put the nail in the coffin. He can play c3, however, but still he's pinned, so it's no good for him. Yeah, this really is game over, basically. Take on b2, threatens his rook. He can't play rook d1, so he'd have to play, yeah, let's just do it. He's down a queen for a rook. Okay, that move. Kind of just want to move my knight to e4. I'm threatening queen to f2. He has bishop e3, but I can take on c3 if I need to. Looks good. Yeah, so this move, queen f2, should just clean up now.
Check.
Yeah, and he resigned. Okay, the Scandinavian strikes. So this line, as I said, castling kingside is not advised if you're looking for the maximum advantage you can get against the Scandinavian. Knight d5 is the main move in this position. Castling short. Bishop b4 is, I think, the most common move in this position. But queen c7, I believe, is fine too. Just withdrawing the queen. A lot of times black doesn't want to withdraw the queen voluntarily in this line because it signifies a loss of tempo. But here, I really like the fact that after bishop d6, he'll constantly have to think about the h2 pawn weakness. That's one thing about him castling kingside. So rook e1 and now knight bd7. I think knight e5 is a mistake. Probably should play something like bishop b3 maybe to reinforce this pawn. And then queen e2 to come. So take, if you were to take with a rook here, I have a nice choice between bishop d6 and knight g4. And if he moves the rook, I'm coming into h2. So pawn takes, yeah, now knight g4. This reminds me a lot of another line in this variation where the queen is on a5 and the bishop is back on c1. And it's the same thing. Black is attacking the e5 pawn twice, and there's a weakness on f2. In that instance, with the queen on a5, it's even better for black, I believe, because there's some tricks like knight takes f2, and after king takes f2, the queen comes from a5 to c5 with a fork on the light square bishop and the king. So this scenario is a little bit different, but I think this is still exceptional for black. Probably he should play bishop g3 here. And I know one thing I've done in the past in this line is play h5. This is a cool move. The idea of going h4, and if he plays h3 to kick the knight away, you play h4 anyways. And if he takes, you take here, and he doesn't have time to take your bishop because you're taking on f2 and winning. That said, though, I think he could probably play h4 himself here and maybe stabilize the position. I might even just like go ahead and play this. Or throw in rook d8, basically, whenever I want. But bishop g3 seems like the best move because that would avoid the whole rook d8, rook d4 fork of the two bishops. So let's just look at the analysis engine and see. Okay, it says knight e4. Yeah, this is another line I consider. Take and then take here. Might be playable for him. Black has no problems after bishop g6, but yeah, this is playable for fishbowl. What about bishop g3? Does that run into anything? Bishop d3, or bishop g3, I mean. h5, okay. Should he play h4? If h4, just rook d8, queen e2, queen a5, or bishop d4, okay. Attack the knight, kind of eye the e5 pawn. Black's pieces are very active, so yeah, not surprising to see a nice advantage there. White's position's a little far-flung. He's a little overextended, having to constantly defend these weaknesses on f2 and e5. Yeah, as played, though, rook e2 gets punished pretty swiftly. I could play knight takes f2, huh? The computer wants to be greedy. It just wants to go for this line.
Check.
And then check. And then go win the b2 pawn. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I don't like giving him two minor pieces. Yeah, I win like a small amount of material in that line, but I don't think that's worth it. I wouldn't play that in an OTB game even. So rook d8 here, yeah, and rook here. Just winning. This is a nice trick to know. If he had played queen c1, then his bishop would be defended, so that seems to be the only move in this position. That doesn't lose on the spot for him. Yeah. Note that he can't play rook d2 because I can take on f2 and his rook is overloaded. It's trying to guard the d-file and also defend the pawn. Bishop d3. Bishop d3 also looks really bad. So should play queen c1. Yeah, and this is just winning for me.
Check.
Too much material.
Check.
Let me see if I can show you the line that this really reminds me of, because there's some cool tricks. And I've had the variation that I'm about to show you a couple times. It's castles, e6, rook e1, and then here knight bd7. So as I said, the queen is on a5. White has not moved the dark square bishop yet. Then white can go knight e5, but after knight takes, they're already in a little bit of trouble. As you can see, the eval just goes in black's favor. If rook takes e5, black just drops back, and there's those two threats, bishop d6 and also knight g4. Very comfortable position for black already. So the times that I've had this, I think I've had this twice, OTB, and both times they took with the pawn. But then after knight g4, the tactics are really similar. So there's a threat here. Knight takes f2, king takes f2, queen c5 is the threat. And let me see if I can remember. So like if bishop f4, how does it go? Yeah, knight takes f2 is good in that case as well. Let's say queen e2 instead, and then bishop c5, and there's some real cool tactical ideas. If, what is it? I'm kind of drawing a blank now. Yeah, if knight d1, there's this pretty awesome move, bishop takes c2. Is this the right line? Because he can't take it because the rook on e1 hangs. And likewise, even though my knight's undefended, he can't take it for the same reason. So bishop d2, and then the queen comes back to d8 to attack this. Yeah, something's not quite right, though. h3. Well, h3 can't it just take on d1? I don't know. The computer seems to think this is okay for white for some reason. I'm trying to figure out the line where the bishops get forked on d4. So that happens. Anyways, I don't want to waste too much video time if I can't recall it, but if I remember it, I'll post in the comments. But as you can see, very similar tactical ideas, so that's what helped me in the game, even though it was slightly different. It was just a pattern I had seen before and played before. So, all right, hope you guys enjoyed this Blitz game, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Thanks for watching, guys.